for the people podcast of the DMV. It's not about you, it's not about me, it's about we, and God we trust. Sir Rod and Lady Z, PTP. Positive thinking people, positive thinking people, positive thinking people. Every Monday night, every Wednesday night, every Friday night, every Monday night, every Wednesday night, every Friday night, every Monday night, every Wednesday night, positive thinking people. Good evening. It's Motivation Monday. Welcome. Here I am. You know what I do. I come to you, talk about the things that's happening. We try to stay, just up on everything that's going on. And so I just want to say good evening. It's August 21st of 2023. And it's a lot going on. And so today, my topic is pretty much understanding where we are in America. And when I say we, okay, it's self-explanatory, okay? And this is when I be talking, I try not to make everything about race, make it about dividing people or things of that nature. But, the elephant in the room, you got to deal with it. Okay, so it's Motivation Monday. What I'm trying to tell you is to motivate you to do better. Okay, but we got to deal with the things that's going on. And so some of the things that really been crossing my mind is looking at where we are with everything that's going on, from the politics, spiritually, physically. Where are we in this country? How many of us are really paying attention to what's going on and what done happened within the last 5 years? Here, I say within the last 10 years, I've seen things that I cannot believe. I've seen things that are unreal. I've seen things that I saw on television, I saw happen in my lifetime. I've seen a black president in the United States. I've seen a president, a former president, get ready to go get indicted. Okay, possibly could be doing some jail time. I don't know. I've seen so many things. I've seen commercials change. I've seen a lot of black people in commercials now. I pay attention to these things. About 15, 20 years ago, you didn't see a lot of that. I see a lot of gay couples in commercials, man. They have gotten to the point, man, almost in everything, they're gay people in there, right? Men and women. I see a lot of interracial couples on commercials and things of that nature now. Things have changed. Some things change in a good way, and some things are changing in a bad way. And where are we to be conscious of what's really going on? And it's really important for us to understand where we are in this country. A lot of it has to do with us individually. You can't wait for everybody to do something for you or to make changes. And so we're talking about on your job, in your relationships at home. We're talking about your spiritual growth. We're talking about it all. It's so important for us to do this and to pay attention to where we are. Now, let me tell y'all something. Sometimes I have to be limited on what I talk about because they will try to control some things that they don't want me to say just the truth. Okay, so y'all gonna have to sometimes read through the subliminal messages that I send, and that way then they just can't say, oh, he just blatantly out said that that the country is racist against black people, or they're racist against other people other than white people or something like that, right? I'm just saying these are things I'm not trying to say blatantly, but I'm talking about what's going on. And the reason why I say I'm looking at these things, I look at how we are struggling as a people in this country. I'm talking about all of us. And we got a new generation of people who want to show love. Now, I realized something with a lot of the people that came through my time, and we talking to baby boomers and that time another, we try to get along. A lot of us. It's the older generation that's way over top of our head that have this power that they want to hold on to and don't want to let go. And this causes havoc within this country among many, many people. And not when I say it's just not about race, but I'm talking about it's starting to affect us in our marriages. It's affected us in our community relationships. I'm talking about when you fellowshipping and you're trying to get your life together and get on the right track, man. It's a lot of us. We struggling. We struggling in so many ways. And so what I want to tell you is it is so important for us to watch and see how things are going about around us everywhere. Let me tell you something. When we talk about certain things, we don't know that there's levels in all areas, whether it's business or the country or in a religion. You got tiers of, and when I say tiers, mean levels of different individuals in different areas to try to control things and want to be able to be put in position. Say like we're talking about the boss on the job. They have titles, president, CEO, whatever. And these people make the final decisions for real. And the more money they have and the more power they have in their businesses and however large the businesses are, it's harder for you to walk up to them and talk to them. And that's by design. That's by design for these individuals to keep control. Follow me where I'm going with this, because this platform plays all the way into your household, where the man and the woman, certain people who have the power, even in the relationships, like to dictate and say what goes on and what can and cannot be done. And we need to really, really get back to a point where we understanding our position, where we stand individually in all areas: family, mental, spiritual, just from being in the population as humans. And it's so important. Now, I start to sit back, and a lot of times I start to evaluate myself, and I'm looking at what's going on with me. And I realize, I say, you know something, Rodney, what is it? Why are you struggling? Why are you having a problem with this? Why is there so much going on with you? And I start to look at the things around me, because I'm trying to live a positive life. But sometimes things are just not working in my favor. And some of it could be because of the color of my skin. Some of it could be lack of my position in the economy. Some of it would be just by finances. Talking to my wife, we was talking about our relationship, and we were saying how unique we are and how we get along, and we've been moving in this direction. And we was sitting down having a conversation. We was wondering, what is the biggest problem that we have? And when we came down to it, it's dealing with the economy as it's moving forward, trying to adjust with the increases in prices, trying to manage financially, trying to be a part of the community and flow in a positive way without having to take from somebody else to give to somebody else, or to take from somebody for us to survive. And so when we were talking, we was just really, really kind of like having that open discussion that was so profound, because it helped us to understand how we move among each other, me and her. And some of the things we were talking about applies to other people. Do you know that when we're looking at the crisis and where we are right now financially, a lot of people are struggling so bad on so many different levels that the way that you conduct yourself in public is a part of the reflection of where you are comfortably in your life. Some of us who are struggling so bad, and then when you get around other people, you're very short tempered. You don't want nobody asking you for $1. Today I gave a homeless man $5, right? And why did I do that? Because I started to think about my position and where I'm at in the tier of life, and who says, I remember it was one homeless man that was in Old Town Alexandria. He was standing down on King Street for over 10 years. He had long dreads. Some of the individuals from Old Town Alexandria might remember this guy. And long story short, I actually was taking pictures of him for over 10 years, off and on. And they found him dead one day. And come to find out, He had money. He had money. Now, reason why I'm telling you this is because sometimes we assume one thing. You'll see somebody walking around, they got on a suit, they got on nice clothes, they got driving nice cars, got a big house, and you're thinking that everything is okay. But some of them are struggling to maintain that level of living. And when they deal with people in a certain way, and it causes a reaction. Same thing with us. Same thing with you. Same thing with everybody who's struggling. We're looking at the economy right now, where we are. It's a big, big struggle within that. And we got to pay attention because it's affecting us spiritually and mentally. I'm telling you, it's a lot of us are getting to the point we can't even have just normal conversations with one another because of the stress in which we are dealing with. And that's when it goes to that mental area where we be struggling as well. If we think about since the pandemic, many of us have gotten to the point where we forgot how to connect with other people because we had to disconnect, and it became a habit. Anything that you do over 21 days can become a habit. Well, just think about it, that a lot of us had stopped hugging one another. A lot of us was at a point where we were starting to hog the food. We was holding for ourselves. No, I can't give you nothing because I can't share because there's not nothing to give. You know, it was almost getting to that point. People was starting to taking and just putting those stuff away. And when I say people, me and my wife haven't been involved in that as well. We was holding on, trying to be prepared for different things, and found ourselves sometimes overdoing it, where just holding things and not sharing it, we end up throwing things away. That wasn't good. That wasn't a good habit to have. Now, I don't want to be all over the place because I want to talk about where we are in the country right now. Where are we in America? Where are we? And we have to look at all avenues, we're dealing with the relationships, dealing with our business, dealing with our family and friends. It's so, so important. I tell you, people to people, power to power, power to think of people. That represents it all for me. I can tell you how the people to people, me, you, and them being whoever you want them to be. But me and my wife, we people to people. We are both individual humans, and she's a person, and person is humans are people, right? Y'all with me? So that's people to people and how we deal with each other, from your supervisor to your pastor to your neighbor to the Amway man to the post delivery, the mail man or mail woman, whatever. It's all people to people. And what happens in these interactions is the power. And that each one of us move on a level of power individually, each one of us. And how do we do that even in the marriage? I remember just watching some stuff and doing some reading, and the question is coming up in a relationship: who's the dominant? Who dominates the relationship? And one part of it, what I was reading, and it comes from the Bible and Scripture as well. The man supposed to be the head of the house, in many, many cases. But in the day and time, and we talking over the last 15, 20 years, a lot of that changed because women had started to elevate to different levels and change that strategy of who was really dictating and who had the power. And that affected the relationships. And then so in a lot of ways, it's hard for us to be able to look at where we are today and realize, man, we have to be aware of the changes that we have went through and where we're going right now, because it's affecting our families. I mean, seriously, it's affecting us families, the families culturally, where people are getting to the point and say, yo, man, I don't even care. They're not bonding together. They're not helping and pulling each other up. It's becoming, I'm going to do what I got to do just for me. And a lot of us are doing this. And I'm talking all over the world, all over the country. I'm not going to say all over the world, but I'm talking about in the United States, because I see it on a daily basis. We talking even as we're trying to get prepared for this next election. It's crazy. What are we doing? Are we preparing our kids, and are we preparing ourselves to move forward in a positive way, or are we doing things at a way that is just about me right now? All I'm concentrating, long as I can survive, the hell with everybody else. We have to pay attention to where we are in this country right now? Where are we in America? Where are we? Do America love us? Do America care about us? Do America want us? I tell you, you have to look back and you got to make a difference. Now, you know what I realize? As we get older, a lot of us have found ourselves in a position where we're saying, well, yo, you know, I might be only be alive another 20, 30 years or might another 50. And you start to get to the point, you be like, well, it's all about me just trying to celebrate my little bit of life I got left, and I'm going to do whatever I have to do. But you know something, many, many years ago, it was all about the development of generational wealth. It was about having your kids to be able to look back and say, hey, this is what we have accomplished in this country. Where are we right now? How many of our families are in position to say you can leave something for your loved ones if you passed away today? Not many, I bet you. I bet you. It's a lot, especially with the way that it's been going. So many people have lost so much. And the way that things are running is not running to build us up, is building us to be able to accept defeat. Think about it. We're not where I can tell you with the pandemic and everything, we got so many people that became lazy. We got so many people that got into a point where they didn't even want to work. And a lot of this people thinking, oh man, you know, the government gave me some money. Oh yeah, they was doing this, they was doing that. Let me tell you something. Behind every situation, even with each one of you, anytime that you do something, it's something that you want. It's something that you want out of it. You don't do it just for the heck of it. What's up, my brother Mark? How you doing, man? Peace and blessings to you, man. Peace and blessings. Hey, always, hey, y'all look, check out Mark's clothing line, his business, the stuff that he's doing. Yo, where are we in this country? Yo, we got to get where what we do is we got to keep moving forward and be conscious of how we're dealing with one another. You are absolutely right. And then our people don't even understand the generational wealth. We gotta get an understanding. We gotta get an understanding about how that operates. A lot of us, I'm a victim. I'm not pointing my finger at you to talk about you. I'm talking about me. I'm talking about some of my friends. I'm talking about some of the people that I'm seeing out here, what they're going through. I'm looking at my grandparents, how they lived, and my parents. What did we do, and how did we survive? And you know what really baffles me? I got to talk real, okay? So don't get mad at me, you know, for some of the people, because I like to deal with the truth. Why does it look like that in this country, Black people have so hard of a time trying to buy a house, getting credit, starting their own businesses, things of that nature? I saw something today, and it said, why do Black people get treated the way they do in these certain situations? And it was a white girl that said it. But let me tell you, there was something profound about it. The gentleman that responded said, because in this country, a lot of the crimes are made by Black people. Now, a lot of people are probably want to disagree with me. But let me tell you something. By design of the situation in which we live, that's partially true. Because if you're not feeding people and giving them opportunity, what they start to do, they start to fight among themselves. And we look around where we are right now. How many of us can go to our family members? I'm talking Black America, okay? In America, where are we in America? Where do we stand in this country right now? How many of us can go back to our family members and say, yo, I want to start a business and get help? In the mindset of the people. That's what it is. A lot of it is put in there by the mindset to have the mind to operate a certain way. Do you know that let me show you something. I'm not going to call the name of the restaurant, the place, but it's a little ice cream parlor me and my wife love going to. We went to one in DC and we went to one in Virginia. Now I'm going to show you the mindset. The one in DC, service sucked. It sucked. And the one in Virginia, man, a whole different flow. Now, this is the funny thing. You're going to probably think that it was just, I'm saying this as if it was all white that work in Virginia and all Black that work in DC. No, it's the energy. See, in Virginia, some black people in there working too as well with some white folks. But when we go in there, they're so polite in there. They're working and they're flowing, and it'd be a line of these individuals going in there. And I was watching it, and the day was our first time going into the one in DC. Wasn't a line. They was halfway just walking around like, they wasn't really concentrated. They weren't smiling or nothing. And that mindset. The mindset. We've gotten to the point, man, is mentally really devastating our characters and the way that we respond to one another. And where are we in this country? What are we doing about it? We watching the news. Here we got a former president getting ready to get indicted. Come on. And this is, something. I hope I'm not stepping out of line that they don't get mad at me because I'm just speaking truth about the elephant in the room. Here we got, this is going on, and what we got us sitting back watching it. Where's the hope? Where's the real set for us to say we moving forward in a positive way when we're watching us fighting right over the television? I mean, like the whole world is watching us. Where are we in America? Where are we? We're in bad shape. And let me tell you something. We can't just blame it on the people in office because we're the one that put them there. We're the one that vote for them. We're the ones that allow them to get in those positions because half of us are too lazy to get up and take on a position ourselves. Half of us not looking at it. We're not really getting involved. We're talking about schools. We're talking about foundations. We got a lot of people out here that are doing things to help promote different organizations. I was talking with a very, very, very dear individual, Demetria, of the Good Fight. So I'm going to just put this out. I ain't putting the business out there, but this lady is doing a lot for the community, right? Doing a lot. And sometimes she finds herself in positions where she's struggling, trying to help the community around her, right? And the mindset of others is not to come in and say, hey, let's lift each other up. It's coming there to pull a rug from under each other. When we should be able to go and knock on the door at one of these foundations and say, look, this is what I'm doing. And I've watched her over the summer, how she's been doing community service. I'm talking about struggling to do things for the children, for all the people around her. And yet she's struggling. Why is she struggling? Where are we in America? Why do we have so many homeless people? Why do we have mental crisis where mental health is not really being dealt with? Where are we? Why are we having levels of suicide and so much bullying going on? We got kids going to school carrying guns, knives, and they don't have the drive to show love to one another, but they want to intimidate and take and rob each other. We got young kids running around here now that don't care nothing about the American flag. They don't know nothing about the respect of that flag. They don't know nothing about that they walk in a country where bombs are not being dropped, at least not right now anyway. We have to look at the mindset, and we have to look at the way things have been set up. And where are we? And when are we going to start to do something? Each one of us have to get in a position where we make a difference in our life. A lot of people ain't going to pay no attention to what I'm saying, but guess what? I'm going to keep saying it, and I'm going to keep getting out there because I care. One thing that I do know, if each one of us try to do something positive, somehow or another, something positive is going to come out of it. I remember many years ago, my brother had shared something with me. He told me, he said, Rodney, if you move on the positive energy around you, you will attract it. And I remember at that time I was going through a lot. So what I did, I just started thinking positive. I started thinking beautiful. I started thinking how gracious this is and putting it in my mind. And all of a sudden things started to change. It started to change. Now, my point I want to make with you, this is where we are. Look at where we are right now. You need to start really paying attention to your finances. Pay attention to your credit. You got to look at all these things that's going on in this country right now, because I'm going to tell you something. In another 5 to 10 years, it's going to be a lot of people struggling. A lot of us already struggling now. What's going to happen when we really start to finding ourselves out there looking at each other. And we have gotten to the point that we didn't pay attention to where we are with our status in society. And now it's a little too late. Pay attention to what's going on around you. Sometimes stop before you react and take 10 deep breaths and just look and see what's going on. When I talk about brothers like the individuals, is okay, all right, ain't a lot of people on here. That's good. I'm okay with that. But like Queen Rachel and Mark Durrett, okay, Jeff Barnes, they're on. You know what? Let me tell you, Mark is a brother that's not selling dope. He's selling hope. He's selling product. He's trying to do positive things. Now, where are we in this country? I guarantee you, for him to go get a storefront, it's going to take him every bit of arm and a leg. But it shouldn't. It shouldn't. And if we as a people paid attention to what we was doing and how we're going about it, we can make a big difference. Said my brother, the Bible said, my people perish from the lack of knowledge. There you go. It's true. And that's part of the structure. For us not to read, not to have knowledge, not to have the wisdom and understanding of how to communicate with one another, how to get where we can change the way we're dealing with each other. Broken families. Man, do you know that by design, that some years ago, it was a target on men in the household, locking them up left and right. The drugs. You know something? Y'all want to pay attention to something? I'm going to bring y'all. I'm hoping that, this is just my thoughts. This is not to go on nobody else. I don't want to offend nobody. I'm just speaking from my heart, okay? But I'm gonna give you something to think about. Let's say in the 70s, 80s, what was happening? It was drugs coming in everywhere, and it was a lot of black people that was making money on the streets. That was making money selling those drugs to their own people, right? But they didn't have the plant, the land. They didn't have the factories to produce this stuff, but they was getting it, okay? And at that time, the mental mindset of them, they weren't thinking to take this money and get Walmart or get a Home Depot or, just maybe 1, 2 here and there. But I'm talking about to majorly say, hey, while all this money is moving around, let's take it and invest it back into our community. A lot of them was doing in there, destroying their community, bringing the drugs in there. Check this out. Back then, where was the crimes? The crimes was right in the arena where the drugs are, right? And they know where they put them at. And then you have certain people some was getting smart. Because I used to tell them young drug dealers I talked to them, I say, let me tell you something, bro. For real, you're a hell of a businessman. All you got to do is just change your product. Start doing things that's legal, because anytime that you can sell something to somebody and have them shoot it in their arm and their heart gonna blow up, man, you're a hell of a businessman. I used to tell them brothers that. I used to tell them, say, man, y'all out there smoking PCB. This stuff y'all smoking right here, they putting in people's body to keep the body alive. Can you imagine what that stuff was doing to your brain? And you convincing people to buy this stuff and smoke it. Oh, you're a hell of a businessman. I used to tell them. I said, but if you take that and you put it into the different areas in these businesses that are legal and start to think with your mindset in the right direction, you'll be making it. Now, follow me where I'm going with it. What happened is, during this process, this is by design, in any area or way you want to look at it. What happened? Look at this right now. You know something? Marijuana is becoming legal. So the brothers that was out there hustling and selling marijuana, they locked a lot of you up, right? But now a lot of you out here can't really sell it and get no money. You know why? Because you can go to the store and get it. Right? Messing with the economy in certain areas, certain levels. What happened? A lot of the brothers that was selling that cocaine, sorry, that fentanyl came over here, start shutting you down. See, people got to look at the areas on how we move, especially in this country. You think that they don't know what you do? You think that they don't know where the guns are? All of a sudden, we got these high rate of killing. Let me tell you, man. Shoot, this is back in the 80s when I was in the military. We could see you a half a mile down the road and see you and pluck your head off. Easy. We could hear you in the building, right through the walls. We could see your body heat. You think the technology haven't evolved even more so? Well, look at us where we are. Where are we in this country right now? Why are we struggling? Why are we not communicating on the level with one another to help build? Because you know something? We're not paying attention to really what's going on. Now, right now, all the prices going up on everything, but ain't nobody really getting no prices increases in their paychecks. The food done went up so high that now people are scared to go to the grocery store. Gas. How much you spending in a week in gas? Many of us that's out here trying to conduct business. For you to try to survive, you put out way more money than you're taking in. Where are we in this country? Where are we individually? And look at the ones who are in position to control things. Now, I'm going to tell you something. You look around, there's still buildings being built. There's still cars being sold. There's still places you can go into and buy clothes and things of that nature. And there's certain people are in position to do so. But they are paying attention to what's going on around them in America. We have to do the same thing. We have to get ourselves in a position where we pay attention and start to change how we conduct ourselves. We have to look at this. And when I tell you this, don't make it just about race. I'm talking about black and white. I'm talking make it about man, the human race. Make it about man and woman. Make it about us really making changes. Getting to the point where we understand what is family. Let's get back to family. Let's get back to starting to get our kids. I was with my granddaughter and I'm talking to my granddaughter. My granddaughter looking at me like I'm one of her buddies. Is that my fault? You know what that come from? The cell phones, the drama that they're having in schools, the attitudes of the teachers, the attitudes of the principals, the attitudes of the counselors. Back when I was coming up in the 6th and 7th grade, man, I had teachers, man, that literally would stay after school with you to make sure that you got a good grade. I had teachers, white and black. I had a teacher named Mr. Moss, a big white guy. Man, I loved this guy. I loved him. I remember one time I was skipping school. I was skipping class, and I was running, and the principal was chasing me. Mr. Mars grabbed me and told me, "Come on in the room." Now, let me show you how smooth he was. And I'm talking about the mindset of certain people. Mr. Mars pulled me in the room because actually, at that time, I think he was either teaching government or social studies. But that was my next class. And he knew I tried to skip his class. So he grabbed me and pulled me in there. He said, "Go sit in the back over there." Right? And I was laughing because I was like, Mr. Mars, he just looked out for me, man. And the principal that was looking for me, his name Mr. Peoples. God bless his soul. He put me back in a corner. And when the bell rang, he looked at me, he said, "Now you stay right there. Because this is your class. This is the class you're supposed to be in." And I laughed. He got me. But you know something? It was a whole different perspective. You know, he could have easily looked at me and say, "The hell with that dude." He could have let me get in trouble. But you know, he played a part in my life moving forward. Mindset. I never forget some of those things. And I'm talking about, I had other teachers who, black and white, that made differences. But we don't have those type of teachers anymore. We don't have those type of people. We go in the grocery store, people don't even look at you. They don't give you no eye contact. Where are we in this country? Where are we in America? What's happening to us? We don't even love even in our families. We got individuals, man, that are, I mean, we it's self-destruction right in your own living room, right in your own front yard. What are we doing about it? Are we paying attention to it? Are we paying attention to the mental status? where we are, how we are as a people. Let me tell y'all something. It is important, so important that we look at where we are. I'm talking about all the way around. What's on television? You know what I don't like to do now? I don't like to look at the news early in the morning anymore. I don't want to hear about all them people getting killed. I don't want to hear about that. That's not important to me. Let me tell you something. For real, if they really wanted to find out who killing, believe me, they would. They don't want to. Right now, because it ain't going in certain neighborhoods. And they say, shoot, you let them kill each other off a little bit. And then I'm gonna give you something else to think about. Who said that there's really people in the neighborhoods that's doing the killing? Since they can't find them, had they start to think, what is going on in our country? Where are we? We got 3 and 4 or 5 people get killed in one day, and you can't find one person that did that? You got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. And what about our children going to school, bringing cell phones, and they in there, not really appreciating the fact of the education that's going to make them prepared for tomorrow, for the days to come? Are we preparing any leaders? I'm telling you, appreciate your Rodney, really do. God bless you, brother. Thank you, my man. It's people to people with Rodney Grimes. I'm just telling you the truth. And a lot of people, something one of my very, very good friends told me. He said, Rodney, let me tell you something. You got to start talking about who stabbed who robbed who got kicked in the face. He said, you got to talk about them things for you to get people to watch you. Because when you're talking about positive things, people won't hear that. You know why? Because there's not a lot of that going on in this country. They're not interested in that. They're interested in finding out. Now, if I was beating up my wife, I bet you I could have 1,000 people on here. I bet you. Is my wife close by? Can she come here for a minute? Well, I'm just saying. If I was in here choking my wife, if I was doing that, I bet you I have 1,000 people on here wanting to say, man, do you know that Rodney called his wife in the room and broke out and started choking her? No, I'm just saying. Come on, she don't want to be seen. Come here, please. Oh, baby, come on, please, just a little bit. All right, I know my wife's. So here she go. Right. Oops. So check this out. If I was they hit in the head with this cup. Yeah, you looking like that, but guess what? Man, they'd be on the phone. Don't you know Rodney Grimes bust his wife in the head with a coffee cup on people to people? But let me tell y'all what I'm doing. I'm building something with this woman. I'm building something for our grandchildren. Our conversation on the couch today is about what we're trying to do to move forward, positive, in a positive way. But how many people want to see that? Thank you, baby. I know you. Yeah. Thanks. But I'm just keeping it real. You guys, excuse me. So, what is it? Where are we? And how many people going to share this? How many people go to my YouTube and subscribe? I need you to do that. You know something? But I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna keep talking positive. I'm gonna keep coming at you, trying to just get you to change your mindset. And if you know what, if it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people pay attention, man, I appreciate it. Jeff, I appreciate you, my brother. Mark, I appreciate you. Queen Rachel, I appreciate you. And all the other people that watch. We've been having quite a few people to reach out and say, oh man, we love what Rodney is doing on the People to People podcast. We love what Lady Z is doing with Rodney or Sir Rod on People to People podcast. We was walking into Walmart and the lady said, hey, y'all that couple that's doing the events and doing the podcast. And we looked at each other and we was like, yes, how you doing? And she said, oh man, I had such a good time and I enjoy y'all so much. Now, that's if it's just one person that we affect like that, it's reason for us to keep going and moving forward. And let me tell you what gets us at that position. You know what it is? When I pay attention on what's going on around me in this country, when I pay attention how my neighbors are responding, when I'm looking at how I got kids that ride past my house that, they pull their pants up when they see me. They call me Pops. Hey, Pops. Yo, come here. How you doing? How was the first day of school? What you do over the summer. I see them young boys, I put them in a position because I'm looking at what's going on around us. We got to set the tone. We got to change it. I can guarantee you, them is 3 young boys, maybe 4 that walk. If they saw me crawling in the street, I guarantee they're gonna come pick me up, and they're gonna carry me wherever I gotta go. I know that for a fact. You know why? Because I paid attention on what's going on in America, and I was setting the tone for them every time that I seen them. I set the tone for them to understand there's somebody that care about you, that love you, and care about what's going on with you. Well, what about the gentleman out here like Mark that's out here trying to start his business or got his business? We don't all know, because let me tell you, it's just over the last few years. And when I say few years, I ain't talking 300 years of us being able to go out here and start businesses. A lot of times back in that time when we did it, somebody went and burnt it down or kicked the windows in or stole all our stuff out of it. Where are we? We got to look at where we are and how we're affecting ourselves. What's going on around us. I guess just say this is so important. Let us look at where we are in this country, and let us start building our leaders. Let us talk to our children at home. Get them off them cell phones. Them cell phones is a serious, that's one of the biggest addictions right now besides sugar. I don't care what you tell me. Cell phone almost got sugar beat. We got guys, and women and men can't go without your cell phone. I was having a conversation with a fellow military gentleman. I consider him a friend. And he was telling me he had went away for training, and all the young guys were spazzing out because they had to get their phones up. He said they was tripping. You know why? The phone, we're addicted to these things. We're addicted to them. And they serving a real serious purpose more than just letting us talk to one another. You better be aware. You better be paying attention what's going on in America. In the world. But in America where we live. In our homes. Right in our living rooms. We have gotten to a point we forgot about the real foundation of life itself. And first of all, it starts spiritually. Because inside, when you are moving in a direction to be positive in any kind of way, whether you're a believer or not, God is going to help you. He's going to change things around you. He's going to get it that somehow or another you're going to be a blessing for somebody else. And in that time of you doing these things and being aware of your surroundings, especially when you try to help other people, guess what? You do nothing but help yourself. It is imperative that we pay attention, understand where we are in this country right now. Where are you right in your home? Where are you in your business? Where are you for tomorrow? How are people going to really look at one another? And we got to start right with each other. We do. And we got to put it to a point where we pay attention. We got an election get ready to come up, man. I'm going to tell you something. I am afraid. I am so afraid. I'm afraid of the attitude of certain people in this country that assume that certain people should have certain privileges and certain power. And then it's certain people that don't even give a damn about getting privileges and power. As long as they can go and get high and drink and do certain things, rob and steal. Hey, I'm talking about the elephant in the room. I'm sorry. Do you know when they talk about crimes in this country and they say that it is committed mostly by people of color? You know why that is? It's because most people of color are struggling at levels that they don't know how to come out of it. They're frustrated. So they take their frustration out on each other. We got to learn how to come together and make a difference in our own communities to build and make sure that we survive. You see the brother Mark? I hope Mark put his information on the podcast. You know why? Buy something from him. I don't give a damn if it's a hat or a t-shirt. But I say, hey, bro, send him some hope. You know what I mean? Because I'm going to tell you something. When we look at what we are today, we got to change the way we're operating. We got to put ourselves in a position where we're really trying to do better by our children and get them to be able to understand about love and commitment and the respect for this country. You know, one thing about me, I'm honestly can say, I will die to protect America. You know why? Because America is where my mom, my grandfather was. My grandfather was born in this country. He lived in this country. I have a brother. I got sisters that live in this country. I got nieces, nephew, my wife. I got all my family members are here. And guess what? And I don't want nothing to happen to them. But I got to pay attention to what's going on around me. Where are we in the country of America? What's our position? How is it treating us? How are we treating ourselves? What are we doing to make a difference? Are we shaking hands or are we pulling away? Are we shutting doors or are we opening them? Are we encouraging people or are we stealing from each other, telling lies and backstabbing? Think about it. And I can tell you something else. This is for every person. You reap what you sow, and you're going to, everything that's born is going to die. And something else. All of the young people that are around you that you ain't paying attention to, going to do you the same way when you're older. They ain't going to pay attention to you because you didn't teach them. You didn't prepare them. You got to prepare them to be able to take care of you. You got to prepare them to know how to deal with tomorrow. You got to prepare because they don't know. The only thing they rely on right now is these. They can get on there. They can tell you how to, believe me, 3-4-year-olds can tell you how to operate a phone easy. But do they know about praying? Do they know about building strong relationships with one another? A lot of that's important. Where do we stand in this country? How are we dealing with the mental situation? I was laughing at something when we talk about change and how things are. Back when I was growing up, so say 1967, 68, 69, 69, 70. Back then, we used to wear what we call an afro. And you wanted it all neat and perfectly shaped. How many of y'all remember that? Right? We wanted it, man. And you know something? A lot of guys, when they went around, man, they wanted to wear nice clothes. They wanted their nails done. They wanted to be groomed, and they had this little walk, this little swag with them. You know what I mean? Letting us, man, say, hey, I'm look good. I look good. What happened? Look at us now. This is how we were. I ain't mad at it. I'm just going with the flow. We don't care about it being nappy. We don't care about it not looking, somewhat presentable. Now, I'm trying to work according to where we are today, right? But get my point. We got kids wanting to comb their hair. They want to brush their teeth. We got guys walking around showing you dirty drawers. Most of the time, you can see 10 guys, and out of 10 of them, you see 10 guys, and 7 of them, you can tell them what color their drawers are. And if you look hard enough, you can tell whether they changed them or not that day. It's crazy. Where are we at in this country? What are we doing to make the difference? It's so important for us to pay attention. Everything that's going on right now is affecting us all the way around, spiritually, mentally, and physically. Everything's going on. When I get so frustrated from the streets, I come home, I'm frustrated in my house. Sometimes my wife has to tell me, don't bring that in here. Don't bring it in here. Because there's so much that we have to deal with. We have to be paying attention to where we are in this country. Where we mentally. How are we supporting each other? It's a lot of people laugh at me. I don't care. You can keep laughing. I'm going to keep on telling you. I'm going to keep coming on. I'm going to keep talking. I'm going to keep trying to move in a direction to be a positive influence for at least with my grandkids, because maybe one day my grandkids gonna be sitting down with that cell phone and they're gonna pull up on YouTube and they can be saying, "That's my grandfather. Listen what he's talking about. Now I see what he was saying. My grandfather really cared. He really cared about the community. He cared about people moving forward and helping one another." That's just me doing my part. My kudos to many, many celebrities and people of status who helped us and helped us along the way. And I thank you spiritually. I thank you for your sacrifice. And what we have to do, even look back at them. Where were they in this country, in America? How was they treated? What did happen to them? Some of them gave their life up so that we'd be able to walk the street. I ain't gonna say walk the street freely, because that's a whole different show, a whole different conversation. But I can tell you that it's very important for us to pay attention to what's going on and know our status. All I'm asking you to do is to take the time and share this information. Sit down with your family, and talk to them about knowing their position and understanding about management within your minds and your spirits, your heart. Get an understanding of what you're supposed to do and how you're supposed to conduct yourself. We're not promised a day or tomorrow. But in that moment that you live it to the fullest with a positive attitude. Not thinking that you want to rob and steal from somebody or you want to belittle somebody. And I'm talking about black and white, Hispanic, all over. If it's a white person listening to this, please understand. I don't want you judging me by my skin. I want you to judge me by my heart. And I would say the same thing to a black man, to someone else, whether they're Asian or whatever. Don't judge them because they got slanted eyes. Don't judge them because they got long hair. Judge them by their heart. Judge them by their walk. You know what I mean? When I say their walk, I'm talking about if they're walking in a way that's in a positive, giving positive energy. To everyone that's out there, I just ask you, understand where we are in this country and look at what's happening. All over the news, they talking about prosecuting a former president. Come on. Oh, my goodness. Brother, sisters, fellow Americans, where are we? We had a situation down in Alabama a few weeks ago, and they made a joke out of the lady getting hit with a chair. They made a joke out of it. They was, and you can go, and I'm talking about one lady, she was advertising, she got one of them chairs, and she, how many views she had? She had about 100,000 views. Because she was talking about, she collected chairs now, and she letting people know, yo, I will hit you with a chair. And we hit that. We share that. But we won't share this. We won't share the positive conversation about moving forward and paying attention to our downfall and our demise. Somebody's going to tell you the truth. Let me tell you something. It's a lot of killing going on, but guess what? There's more people out there that want to have peace in their life. There's more people out there that want to show love and move in harmony. And when we start to look at where we are in this country, we'll know what our next move is. I'm just telling you, it's so important for us to do the right thing. It's so important. It's so important for us to look at our kids and tell them that we love them and put them in a position where they are believers. Yo, all I can just tell you that, something, it's up to you, individuals, to put us in position where we will start to really look at where we are in this country. Look and see if we living right. Let's see, are we really trying to treat each other with respect? Because it's up to us to make a difference. People to people, power to power, positive thinking people. I send peace and blessings to you. This is Rodney Grimes. This is the podcast of the DMV. Let me tell you something, yeah. And don't just because you see me in my office studio, we still out in Tyson's Corner. We got an event coming up October 23rd. We're gonna be networking out there like before. It's gonna be powerful. Y'all gonna want to come out there and be a part of that. Y'all gonna want to come out there and really see what's going on, because we making a difference. And that's what it's all about. I appreciate everybody. Please subscribe. Please go to YouTube and subscribe, please. If you haven't, or tell your loved ones, it ain't gonna cost you nothing. Subscribe, hit like, and just share the conversation. You can sit down in your living room and have my podcast play and talk about these things with some of your kids. Some of the topics. Go back. We talk about mental health. We talk about financial growth. We talk about business connection, building relationship. We talk about our relationship spiritually. We talk about it all. People to people, power to power, positive thinking people. That's what it is. See ya.